Good morning, welcome to iCare, iMove, Move More. We're kind of in between courses, so we're still going with the movements. We're still keeping everybody mobile and strong. So I think we've got 2 or 3 weeks till we start the Move More course. So if you know anybody that is afraid of falling, has fallen or is at risk of falling, or just needs to move more, then get in touch and let us know. If you've got any friends or relatives or neighbours, send them our way. It's just a phone call to that number there. So as always, if you're feeling up to it, then go for it and join in with everything. If you're not feeling 100%, feel free to sit in your chair at any point or just to take those exercises down a little bit. We need to make sure that you're fit enough, well enough, and that you're feeling okay throughout the programme, throughout the session. So, having said that, let's get going. Happy Monday. So a lovely start to the week. It's a bit rainy and a bit windy, so it's important to keep you nice and warm, and you can get warm very quickly by doing some movements in your chair. So let's start with nice wide feet here. I have started in sitting, but if you want to stand, you can. I'm going to come up to standing quite soon. So I just want to get everybody moving. So feet wide, good morning, Jenny. Feet wide, and just taking your weight from one side to the other. Just transferring weight and see how you feel. Keep breathing. So I want you to lift up through your chest. So today I want you to focus on posture. And you know, it's quite hard if you're not used to having a great posture. That's quite tiring in itself. So sometimes it's okay to just have a sit back and have a rest and a break and then come up to that lovely posture. So I'm going to come up to standing. I'm going to hip walk to the front of my chair, take my feet back, push up, pump your heels at the top, and I'm going to go behind my chair. And you can do the same, or if you're quite confident, you can just be by the side of a worktop or a wall, or you can come right behind a chair so that you've got that to support you. And we're just going to come straight into our march. So we're lifting those heels. And remember what we said the other day. So think about lifting those heels right up and then dropping the whole foot down. And then we can add in the arms for a whole body movement. So we're just working through circulation boost, warming up the body, moving the joints and the muscles in preparation for the rest of the class. And keep breathing. If you're sitting, then move your feet. You can move your arms. If your legs get tired, you can just move the arms. So you know the options. Relax your shoulders down. And we'll work through shoulder mobility now. So take your feet wide. We're going to shrug those shoulders, so shoulder raise. So lift those shoulders and then drop them down, and really drop them down and then lift. So a slow movement. I really want you to focus on how your shoulders feel as you lift them up to your ears, and then you send the shoulder blades right the way down and then lift again and send them all the way down. We're going to lift one shoulder. Push it down, so push, it almost drops lower than the other side, and then lift the other shoulder and drop it down. Push that hand down, lift the other, lovely. So it's a big push through the fingers down towards the floor, lift and push, and go back to both shoulders. Push those fingers down, so you're really focusing on growing through the spine, through the chest, and lengthening. Lovely, one more for me. And then we're going to come back into that march. So gently swinging those arms. So this time we're going to make that arm movement a little bigger. So swinging behind you. I know I nag you about this. So the elbow comes right behind the body and the hand comes towards the hip and then up towards the ear. And you don't have to keep up with me. You can go quite slowly if you want to. Again, in seated, lovely Rob and Eric, swinging those arms. Our boys. Ah. So, swinging those arms, standing tall. I'm pulling it in.
I am breathing in, she said.
She's telling me to breathe in, rude.
I was trying to get the best face
No,
from
I
you.
know. Lovely. And then take your feet nice and wide again. One of my favourites. Hands down by your side. Lean. Slide one hand down the thigh and come back up to centre and reset yourself. Sliding one hand down and the elbow lifts. Slide. And remember what we're trying to do here. So we're trying to slide directly down. So literally down the side of your body. Keep your head in alignment. So we're not leaning forwards or back. It's directly down. And that might reduce your movement. And that's fine, because what we're looking for is a lovely stretch into the waist, into the ribs. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, I didn't say good morning to Claire because we can't see her. I sometimes forget
Kay's
she's
in
there.
the
Oh,
house as
hello,
well.
Kay. Oh, lovely to see you. It's funny, I saw one of our lovely attendees who used to come, and I haven't met her in the flesh until the other day at a vaccination centre, and I was like, oh, I've never seen you in the flesh. And it was so lovely. Okay, down the front of the thigh, up the back this time. So slightly different movement. Working through the front of the hips. You might feel that into the lower back. And keep moving. Keep breathing. Try not to hold your breath. Swap sides. The hand comes down the other thigh and lifts at the front. Lovely. So just some gentle mobilisation movements, and then we're going to come back to a march. Relax those shoulders down. You should be getting a little bit warmer now. So ankle. So we're working through the ankle, okay? Now you know this is one of our favourites. So hold on to something if you need to, and hopefully we can zoom in on the toes, on the feet. So heel and toe and heel. Same in seated, so you can do exactly the same movement and lift that knee up. Trying to get that foot on the toes and the heel into the same spot every time. Okay, keep going. So we love ankle mobility. It's so important to warm up the ankles before you get started on your day. Okay, change sides. So heel and toes, heel and toes. Thank you, Owen. Heel, toes. So you can see I'm on the same spot, which means I have to lift my knee. Nearly done there. Lovely. And then we'll get some nice plinky plonky music, our favourite music, and we'll get moving a bit more. So back to your march. Good. So hopefully we're all mobile and warm. Thank you. Just one more. So feet nice and wide. Little circle with the hips. So side to me, to the centre, and then back again. So bend through the knees. Side, forward. So it's a forward circle, semicircle. Just warming through the fronts of the hips, the back. Lovely. Good. And then we're going to come into some endurance. So standing if you're not already standing. I think most of you are. So relaxing the shoulders. Just marching gently. And then we're going to start to bring these knees up. So you don't have to go fast here. We're working through those bigger movements. Bigger movements. Lifting those knees. So do what you can. If you need to rest in between, you can. If it pulls on your back, say, for instance, don't lift your knees quite so high. Good. Okay, so how about we change it up? Lift those knees out to the side. Slightly different movement. Still working through the hips. And breathe. How are you feeling? So see how you feel. Are you already out of breath? We didn't do much endurance last week, so how are you? Are you puffed out or are you okay? Okay, knees come back to the front, but you're still lifting them up. Lovely. So remember, posture, pull those muscles in the belly in to support you. These muscles help to lift your legs up. They run down the fronts of your hips. So really important to engage those muscles. Okay, back to wider knees. That's it. In seated, it's the same. You can sit back a bit if you want in the chair. Sometimes that helps when we're lifting those knees high. How are your legs feeling? Okay, forwards again. You can hold on to something if you need to. Good, and then rest it there. Just a gentle heel pump. We must keep these feet moving though. Try not to stop still, completely still, okay? So this is your recovery phase. Fabulous. If you need to rest, then just rest your posture, but keep your heels moving, all your toes moving. Okay, we're going to come into our side step. So we step wide, step wide. So wide together, wide together. Again, you don't need to keep up with me. You can go at your own speed. If you're holding on to something or you need support, try and let that hand slide across so you're not hanging on for dear life. That's it, so nice wide steps. Why do we do this? It works the sides of your hips, it works the groin area, so it works around the hip area. And it's building confidence as we go. So side step, if you need to make them smaller. If you're sitting, you can just tap to the side and bring that foot in. Tap and bring it in. How are we all doing? And then add a shoulder. So last week we were adding the bicep curls. So slightly different this week.
This just becomes, can they hear me?
Can you hear Helen? Have you got your mic on?
This just becomes more complex. So this is working your brain as well as your brawn. That's what
Oh, we did a lot of that last week, didn't we? I couldn't work my brain very well.
But it's good. So just imagine you're just pulling up 1/4 of your body. So that whole quarter is coming up to your ear and back down again. The other quarter, so we're getting some real, this is a good one for you, Jenny. And I can see Kay, great, Rob, beautiful. Can you try not to gurn at the same time? I'm not sure, some of you look like you've got a bit of wind today.
So rude.
Look at Annie's face.
Rob's going, yeah. And back
Lovely.
to your march. So how do you feel? Think about how you feel. You should be okay. So you might be a little bit out of breath, that's fine. Come back to that recovery march. Again, it doesn't have to be very quick. It can be slow. Okay, we're going to come into our knee bends. So it's still endurance, but it's a little bit of strength as well. So multitasking. So feet nice and wide. And we bend the knees towards the front. And then you stick the bottom out and go down and push up through the feet, the thighs, squeeze the bottom, especially at the top. If you're sitting, this is a bunny hop, or you can come into sit to stand. So knee bend, push your bottom back, push to rise, squeeze the thighs, the bottom, push down through those feet. Eye gaze is neutral. Squeeze. Remember what we said about those knees. Are those knees coming in? If they are, just push them out so that they stay over your toes. So just a few. Well, it's not a few. It's enough. So big squeeze at the top. Lovely, Rob. Good. Squeeze. Lower. How are you feeling? Give me a thumbs up. Or not. Lovely. Thanks, Anita. Okay. March or recover. So a heel lift, just lifting those heels gently. And we might come back to the squat later, the knee bend. Okay, so we're going to come into lunge now. Again, seated, it's the same. It's a step forwards and lean. In standing, it looks like this. So you can either go in front of behind the chair and step out to the edges or to the side of the chair. So I'm going to land confidently on my heel, put my whole foot on the floor and push back, other side. Or you can go single, you can go right side and then change to the left. So it's a land and a push. Land. Now remember, we always talk about that wide base of support. So even in a lunge, you're stepping out, okay? because then you've got that wide base of support to push up from. Good. That weight transfers to the front leg and pushes back to both feet and reset here. So using the big muscles in the legs. Good. You okay, Chris? Yep. And you don't have to make it a big step. Start small and then build up. But working through these big muscles to get your heart rates going is a really good thing. It's really good to practice to build up a healthy heart. That's it. Keep going. Keep going. Nearly done. And then come back to your recovery step. So gentle pedal of the heels while you get your breath back. So keep moving, keep everything moving, even if it's just a small movement. Breathe. Good. Lovely. Okay, we're going to step back. So we're going to step back and come to the center. So we step back and then we come back to the start. Step back, come to the start. So you've always got something to hold on to. And we've been doing more of stepping back lately, so it's just a nice focus to do. We need to feel confident in stepping back too. In sitting, it's kind of stepping out slightly. I'll show you. Keep going if you're standing. So in sitting, it's sitting at the front of your chair and it's stepping back and slightly to the side. So you get that feeling of the change of the transfer of weight still backwards. And that feeling of being imbalanced. Lovely. And you always come back to standing on both feet. Good. Lovely. Keep going. So it's not too difficult, this one. But you know, we always talk about walking backwards, so it's a step back, transfer the weight, step together, change sides, step back, together. Lovely. And then march it out. Just lift those heels again. We're going back to a step, but we're going to a double step this time. And it's not a wide step, it's a step together, step together, step together. And it's just bringing your heart rates down steadily, carefully. Step. How do you feel if we just lift the legs slightly as we step over? Not huge, not a big movement, just a more noticeable movement. So again, have your chair in front of you. Slide your hands across if you need to. Lovely. Step together, step together, step together, step together. Good. Keep going. That's it. Or you can do a single step. You don't have to do a double step.
You right, Jenny?
Last one.
Thumbs up. Good.
And then come back to your heel lift. Just a gentle pedal. And then we just tap out our feet to the side, still bringing the heart rate down, just for a few minutes until you feel less puffed out. Tap, breathe, tap, and breathe. Good. And then we're going to move on to balance. So we've been doing tandem again, haven't we? So let's work through tandem. Okay, so grab a drink if you need to. I'll just grab mine. So, are we okay? So we're coming into balance, okay? We're going to work through several different movements. and then we'll go from there. So, first of all, I want you to start by standing in front of your support, whether that's a wall or a chair, or just having something by the side. And we're going to take one leg, we're going to slide it out, and we're going to slightly lift the toes off the floor. Or you can keep the toes on the floor if you're unbalanced. Bring that in, that leg in, and slide the other leg back. Now, for those of you with lower back pain, you might feel this. So to make that movement smaller, slide back in. But it's a really lovely piece of work through the bottom, the glutes, the bottom, the butt cheeks. And it's a stretch through the hips, but also what it does here is if we've rested our toes on the floor, you get that feeling of imbalance, okay, and unsteadiness. And that's how we challenge our balance. So if you can kind of not hold on, then try it, or you just might want to hover your fingers over the chair. So slide and rest that foot. And slide and rest the foot. In seated, you might want to just lift one leg off in front of you. So straighten one leg and just lift it off the floor. It's difficult to do backward movements with your legs when you're sitting on a chair. So lift and squeeze. And then if you can, start to lift that foot off the floor. Squeeze and lift, change, squeeze and lift. Change, squeeze and lift, change, squeeze and lift. Okay, so next up is we're going to reach. So first of all, we're standing on our whole feet, on the whole foot. So we're going to reach up in front, come back down. Reach up in front, come back down. Good. Reach up. So really wide feet here, not really wide, wider than hip width. Okay, for your safety, for your steadiness. Okay, how do you feel about lifting both arms? So reaching up, up and out, and coming back to the front, back to the starting position. Coming down, reaching up. So we're still on the whole foot for now, okay? And we'll go back to the start. And just feel how that is for you. Is it scary? Or are you quite confident? Okay, now we're going to come onto the balls of the feet. So start small. So just come onto the balls of the feet and lower down. Onto the balls of the feet. Now this can be quite strong through the calf muscles, so go with it, see how you get on. Come through the balls of the feet, reach with one arm and lower down. Now you're reaching forwards and slightly up, well, up and forwards, not directly above your head. So reaching, coming back down. Now remember, that weight goes through the big toe and the second toe as we're coming up. Okay, keep going with one arm, alternating, or you can add both arms. This is where you do need to put that weight through the big toe. Squeezing those thighs together. So squeezing them will really help you to be steady. Up, 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 and come down. Keep going if you can. Now this might make you puffed out because your hearts are above your head. Your hands are above your heart. And we know that anything above the heart will make your heart beat faster. That's it, keep pushing, come down, push. Okay, slightly different, and we have done this before. We're gonna come onto the balls of our feet and reach over to the other side. Not too far, reach up and over, come back down. So keep this movement controlled. Up and over, because what happens if you lose the use of an arm for whatever reason? You might not be able to use your hand or your shoulder, so you might need to reach up and over across into a cupboard, or you might need to support yourself holding on to something. Good. How are your calves? Oh, can you feel it? And then rest. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to come back to our lovely tandem. So I do recommend you have something to support you, and we're going to step one foot in front of the other. So I'm going to step my left foot in front of my right. So we might need, thank you, come down to feet. So right is in front of left, and I'm going to walk. So in seated, it's the same, only you can only do a few steps. Now, if you need to hold on, just do a few steps, a couple of steps, wherever you need to go to be safe. Okay, so we're walking forwards, whoop, tap down if you need to. What I don't want you to do is grab that chair if you're wobbly. I want you to make that step out sideways, because you might not have something to hold on to if you're out and about. So really important to get that muscle memory by stepping to the side here if I was wobbly. So keep going, keep moving, and this is important. You need to be upright, otherwise your weight is over your shoulder, is over your feet or behind. So great posture, standing really tall, pulling through the crown of your head, using those compensatory steps to step out wide if you need to. Lovely. If this is too much for you, here, so just a little tiny step with your feet really close together works as well. If you can't, if you're not steady enough to go one in front of the other. Lovely. Good. Fab. Okay. Now we're going to stay with our feet one in front of the other. And we're going to just move. So lift the heel and lift the toes. So a little bit of a lifting the of your gentle movement, but it's really important to keep doing it. Seated.
Eric, you okay? Eric?
Is he concentrating?
Are you right, lovely boy? Thumbs up, just checking on you.
Okay, change feet. So put the other foot in front. One side is normally different than the other. It's really important to work both. Lovely, keep going. Lift and lift. Lift and lift and lift. Couple more. Okay, so we're going to march now. We're going to walk. And we're going to turn. So we're going to walk, march, turn to the left. Remember your posture. Try to take your eye gaze with you as you turn to the front towards me. In seated, it's your march with your arms, your feet, and just take a look to the side to challenge that balance. So a gentle march, turning to face me, and turn to the left. And turn to face me, and turn to your right. Good. Turn to the front and to the side. Good. Keep going in your own time. You don't need me to tell you which way to go. Okay, so now we're going to add in. We're going to walk forwards. So walk to me and then turn to the side. Turn to the front. Turn to the side. Turn to the front. And we're going to walk backwards. So you can go really slowly. Make sure you've got nothing behind you. Turn to the side. Turn to the front. To the side. To the front. Then we're going to march forwards again. And turn. So you'll be away from support now, but you could walk by the side of a wall if you wanted to, if you need that support. Okay, and walk backwards. Good. And let's go one more time to the side, to the front. Are you dizzy yet? To the side. If you're dizzy, keep your eye gaze forwards. Last time forwards. To the side, to the front, to the side, and step back. Lovely. Good. How are we doing? Are we okay? Keep those feet nice and still. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs in the middle or a thumbs down. Thumbs up, Anita, thank you. Good, lovely, fabulous. Are you exhausted? Are you okay? Can we do one more? I want to go. Make sure you've got room, and we're going to walk around the chair. This is nothing you wouldn't do in normal life. If you're sitting, I want you to focus through those movements, the moving the head to the side while you're marching. Okay, so otherwise we're going to walk around the chair. Take your time. Make sure you clear the chair. If you're tired, Chris, or you're not sure, then just sit, march, and take your eye gaze in different directions. So what am I doing? I'm walking around the chair in one direction. I'm coming to the back of the chair, I'm resetting, and then I'm going around the other side of the chair. I'm going around the other way. Okay? So depending on what you've got going on in the house, you might feel dizzy.
Take your time, don't rush.
You can always come back to the chair and hold it there. Lovely, Jenny, good. Fabulous. We're nearly done. You can sit down in a minute, honestly, and then we'll go to strength. And you need a band. So that's you done for balance. So grab a band and sit down in your chairs and grab a drink if you need to. So you should all have a band. So we're going to pop our bands on our knees. Lovely.
Can I just get thumbs up from everyone or a smile?
Not a grimace, a smile.
Lovely. Oh, lovely teeth. Look at Peter and Judy. Look at their little smiling faces. You all look good, guys. You're doing well.
Right, so our hands are going to slide under our bands. You know this one. One of our favourite ones, our dumb waiter. It's a back stretch, a back strengthener. So we're going to lift the band. We're going to keep our elbows tucked into our sides, and we're going to open that band by pulling it apart. And then we're going to pull that band back to your belly button. I'll go to the side. So pull back to the belly button, send it forwards, relax those hands, release the tension and drop down. So lift again, open, pull right back so the elbows come behind you, the band is to your belly button, send it forwards, release tension and drop. And we're going to go again. So this is a really controlled movement. Elbows stay in. Look, I'm lopsided. Pull right back. Squeeze those shoulder blades now. Breathe in and out. Send those hands forwards. Release the tension and drop down. And let's do 3 more. So lift, open. Pull right back. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Feel that chest opening. Send it forwards. Release the tension and drop down. How many was that? 2? I'm not very good at counting when I'm talking. Last one. Pull right, pull out. Pull back to the belly button. Squeeze the shoulders, send it forwards and rest and relax. Let your posture go for a second. That's quite hard into your abs, into your shoulders, into your fingers. So working through that grip strength. So grip strength is a completely different movement and a different, what would you call it? It's a different measure of how strong you are, that grip strength. So actually working through pulling and squeezing is really good for your hands and your hand strength. Okay, we're going to keep with this movement, but we're just going to add on a different movement. So we're going to lift still. So you can see that my hands, my band strength, my band is kind of, I'm holding it where my legs are. So we're going to lift. So I've got tension on here is what I'm trying to say. It's not kind of loose and floppy here. I've got some tension. I'm going to open my hands, I'm going to pull back, and from here we're going to either squeeze your shoulder blades together with the pulse or open and let go. So about 8 times. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. 4, 3, I know when you're holding your breath. 2, 1. Relax those hands, rest the shoulders, rest the posture, and we're going to go again. Last time. So we're going to lift, put some tension on the band, pull back to your belly, and we go open and close, or just squeeze the shoulder blades. You've got 5, and 4, and 3, 2, you're right, Annie, 1, and
Colette, you
rest.
okay?
Roll those shoulders.
Thumbs up, Colette.
Roll those shoulders for me.
Catching your breath. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, let's do a little leg movement. We haven't done this for ages. So, band goes under the leg, under the foot, under the instep. Okay, thank you. So, and hold the ends of the bands like you've got ponytails coming over the top. Your thumbs are in, your palms are pointing in. So we're going to lift the knee. As we lift the knee, we're going to pin those hands onto the hips so we don't move the shoulders. Push that leg away, bend the knee. Push the leg away, bend the knee, push and bend, push and hold. Then I want you to just lift and lower the leg, just slightly. Just a small movement. Lovely, good. And then turn your toes out and lift and lower. Keep breathing. Good. This is good for you, you know. Send those toes up to the ceiling and then bring that foot in. Keep the leg, the band there. Relax the hands. We're going to go through that whole movement. So we're going to lift, hands to hips, send that leg straight and heel down to chair, lift the knee, drop back, release the hands. Lift, pin those hands, straighten off the leg, squeeze that muscle in the thigh, lift, lower, and again, lift, pin, straighten off that leg, squeeze, lift and lower. Keep going, just a few more. Push and squeeze, lift and lower, 2 more. You can do it. Push and squeeze, lift and lower. Last one, squeeze, bring that foot in, take the band off. Keep looking up as you take the band off. It's just for your safety. And we're going to swap legs. So, under the other foot. And then hands hold the band. And we're going to lift that leg, pin those hands to the hips again. So this time we're straightening and lifting. We're keeping the foot off the floor. If you need to, if it's too much on your hips, on the fronts of your hips, you can sit back in the chair. But see how you go, especially those who've been seated the whole time. It's a lot of leg work, so I don't mind if you sit back. That's it. So there's no work through the shoulders here. Your shoulders and your hands are still, and you keep breathing, yeah? 2 more. And rest that foot down. Just have a rest for a second. So we're going to come into lift, push, lift and lower. So it's kind of a whole movement. It's a lift of the knee, straighten the foot, the knee, the leg, lift and lower. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lift, hands, straighten, lift, down. Okay, this time, lift, straighten that leg, and we're going to lift that leg up and down. Oh, can you feel it one side more than the other? Yeah, I can. Oh, sorry. So, toes out, squeeze. So this is working that inside muscle of the leg. Squeeze and lift, toes back up to the top, to the ceiling. Up and down and rest. Oh, give your hips a little rub if they're aching. Fabulous. Right, you can do this in your own home. We haven't done this one for so long. Hands in front, feet nice and wide. And you're going to use your fingers to get all of that band into your hand. So working through the fingers is as important as any of these exercises we've been doing, mobility. You need to be able to use your fingers. You need that dexterity in your fingers to be able to do everyday things. Fastening your buttons, using your phone. When you've got the whole of the band in your palm.
Can I hear you okay?
I think so. Can you hear me okay? Yep. And go again. So you can see that I'm not really moving my arm. My arm is fairly still. My palm is facing down, and I'm just using my fingers to grasp the band. And there's no reason why you can't do this in the TV break when you're watching the news or choreo or whatever it is you watch. Okay, and swap sides. Now, so it's not just finger work here, you're holding your arm out, so it's working through the shoulder. You might not feel that straight away, but as you've been holding it there for a little while, you might start to feel that little ache in the shoulder, which tells me that we're working the shoulder, the muscles around the shoulder. And keep going. That's it. So trying to get the whole of that band in your hand without having too much movement through the arm. That's it. Keep going right to the end. Get the whole band in your hand using all of the fingers and thumb. Good. Okay, so we're going to fold and fold and fold and fold. So we've got a little tiny squidgy band. It's tiny. And we're going to work on our wrist strength. So another one, this is, we need wrist strength to push up from the floor, to push up from the bed, for lots of things in our day-to-day life. And if we don't have great wrist strength, then, it can really impede your day-to-day activities. So we're going to have one hand on the bottom, one hand on the top, and we're going to squeeze. So squeeze it like you're wringing out a dishcloth, tea towel, and let go. Squeeze the fingers together as you push that band away and bring it back in and relax. That's it. Squeeze all of the fingers. Try to get the thumb, the forefingers on both hands, squeezing onto the band. And then try and push the wrists away from each other. So what do I mean by that? So I could just sit here, or I could really push. So I'm really stretching the elbows here. So push, and then make that movement bigger by pushing the wrists away. And then we're going to do the same, but we're going to swap hands. So the top hand goes on the bottom, and it feels the same, but it might be slightly different. And you need to adjust the hands and the band. So push away, bring it back in. And then start to add that squeeze of the fingers through the band. Big squeeze and push. Pull it back in. And then we're going to add that little wrist stretch. Let me see if I can show you. So I'm going from here, and then I'm pushing the wrists forwards. From here, straightening off, pushing that wrist. Here, straightening, pushing. Lovely. Keep going. Keep going. And relax. Fabulous. Shall we come into some Tai Chi? We love Tai Chi, says Beryl. It's your favourite part. So seated or standing, I'm going to come into standing. And let's do some lovely, gentle movements to help your balance, calm your bodies. And have we got a different music for Tai Chi? I'm not sure, I can't remember. So come into standing if you'd like to, or stay seated. Feet are nice and wide. And we're just going to start by lifting the fingers and sending them down. So it's like you're scooping up energy. And then you're sending it down and away, releasing any negative thoughts, negative feelings, but drawing in positive feelings, positive thoughts and positive energy as you lift up. Keep that breath. Lovely, Joan. Lovely to see you. And your little smile. So you don't need to bend your knees if you're standing. I'm just giving you options. Lift. So calming the breath right down. Lifting and lowering and lifting and lowering. This time we're going to lift up all the way, so slowly. And we're going to drop to one side and we're going to bend through that knee. So you might need to turn your toes out. Come to center, lift, drop to the other side, transfer the weight to that side. Come to center. So you don't have to stay with my movements, you can take your time. It's just a gentle flow, side to side. That's it, mind your hubby. You don't clout him on the head. Lift. There you go. Okay, lift up and down now. Down. And up. Okay, we come to that lovely circle, so we circle. Draw down. Make a fist, pull in, push away, and circle. Use your breath as well. We don't hold our breath in Tai Chi. So really push away. Circle that energy. Draw down, ready to pull it in. Pull right in. And push away. And let's go one more time. Draw down. Pull in. Push away. Yeah, I'm going to do that next. So we're going to go here and here. Keep going. Keep breathing. So opposite hands, float forwards and back. Okay, we take both hands up to the diagonals. Push, reach, then fold from the hips, hinge, send those hands back. Push those fingers away, extend through the neck. Try not to lift the chin too much. And come back to center and float the hands. Breathe. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Both hands come up. Reach. Push. Feel that energy. Push to the sky, to the ceiling. Drop the arms. Hinge from the hips. Send those hands back. Push away. And breathe. Eye gaze is neutral, down to about 45 degrees, so your spine is long from the coccyx to the crown of your head, and float those hands one more time. 2 and 1. Reach up and out, push away. Big breath in and hinge from those hips, push those fingers back and away. Drop the head so your spine is neutral. Push, open the chest, come up to standing. Roll the shoulder on one side and the other. And we're going to come to a sit, to stretch, or you can stand. Okay, so come into sitting or stand for that stretch. So we're going to stretch the backs of the legs. So I'm going to stick my bottom out. I'm going to take 1 foot forwards and I'm going to send my bottom back and bend one knee. So you've got one leg straight, one leg bent. If you're sitting, you've got one leg steady, stable, and the other leg is forwards and away. I'll come back to standing though. Okay, so you know this one. It's slightly different in standing though. It feels a bit odd. Lovely. And come up. We're going to change legs. So take the both feet together. Send one foot forwards. Send the bottom backwards. Bend that back knee. And you should feel a lovely stretch along the back of the leg, the back of the knee. Eye gazes forwards. Breathe. That's it. And then come up to standing. Lovely. Okay, we're going to take our hands to the back. You can either hold onto the chair or hands into lower back here. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, push those hands down. Opening out the chest. Big breath in and out. Lovely, and then let go. Take one hand across the body. Allow the other hand to just support the back of the arm and push that hand across the body, the arm across the body a little bit more. So we're stretching into the triceps here. And then we're going to drop that arm. Can you reach it up? Give it a try. Drop the hand down to the shoulder. You can give it a little nudge. You can hold it here, or you can take it up and over your head, whichever way that may be. Lovely, and reach forwards and down. Okay, other side. So the hand comes across the body, so you'll reach into the opposite side. And then support the arm or hug it into you. So pull across a little bit more, and it's quite a nice shoulder stretch too, this one. Breathe. Reach that hand up, palm forwards. Reach up a bit more, send the hand down to the shoulder. Give it a nudge if you need to. Lovely. And then we reach up and over your head. Push that hand away. Keep those knees soft. Lovely, good. And reach forwards and out of that stretch. And then I am going to get you to sit down. Take your time for relaxation. Settle in your chairs, however that may be. You can go on the sofa, go on a bed. Just sit in your chair. Feel free to just sit back in your chair. And then when you're ready, close your eyes. So, take a deep breath in. Can we just lower the music a little bit, Owen, please? Deep breath in through the nose and a long breath out through the mouth. Deep breath in and a long breath out. Notice where that breathing lands. Notice that movement through the ribs as you take that deep breath in. Feel the ribs rising forwards, but also out to the side. If you're sitting back against the chair, feel the ribs against the chair as you breathe in. And then feel the opposite movement as you breathe out. And if you need to just focus, if you're stressed and just need to relax, just always come back to your breath. The breath in the body, and the breath in the ribs, and the breath down into the belly. So start to breathe into the belly. And how do we do that? Sometimes it helps to put one hand on the chest and one hand on the belly. And take a deep breath in. And be aware of which hand moves most. So if you're shallow breathing or chest breathing, the hand on the chest moves. But if you're belly breathing, the hand on the belly moves. And we want you to make the hand on the belly move. So it's a deep, slow, long breath down into the belly. And you feel the belly rise. And it's a long, slow exhalation. And if you can, just take a pause on that breath out until you're ready to breathe again. And take a deep breath in, sending it deep down into the belly, and breathe all the way out. That belly falls, the chest falls, and just hold that breath until you're ready to breathe again. And if it feels a bit scary, you don't like it, just go in your own breath. Just taking a few moments longer on that breath out to pause until you're ready to breathe again. In deeply. That long, slow breath in, filling your belly with air, with oxygen, and breathing out. So not really thinking about anything else today, just showing you how easy it is to just focus on that breath. Coming back to that movement in the ribs as you breathe in. That movement as the ribs move forwards and out to the sides and out to the back. And that whole movement as you let it go, as you exhale fully out. And then just coming back to a normal breath. Bringing some movement gently to your fingers, to your toes, moving the wrists around one way and then the other way, and then just flexing the wrists and extending, having a stretch those arms out, waking up the body. If you're having a little snooze, wakey, come to the front of your chair, roll through the shoulders. Take some normal breaths in and out. Open your eyes, give me a big smile, and you're done. So a big round of applause to you today and every day. Did you get my email? Do your homework. So thanks for joining us today. We'll be back on Friday. Make sure you join us or let us know if you